Welcome back to Peterson Auto. We're doing another episode of Car Parts Explained. Seems I have a lot of free time tonight and we're sitting around, so I'm going to give you some YouTube videos. I think the next one I'm going to cover is wheels. Wheels are very often overlooked actually, but there's a number of different styles and I think we're going to start there. You have stamped steel, you have fabricated steel, you have drop forged aluminum, you have forged aluminum, you have cast aluminum, and I'm sure there's some others that are much less common. Again, in old cars, you can have wood wheels. That being said, when you look into wheels, the wheels matter a lot about your car. They really do. And many people don't consider, the wheels on their cars being anything more than something to hold the car up and roll down the road. You have advantages to each style. First, we're going to start with the stamped steel wheels. Stamped steel is very durable, holds up very well. However, they rust and they corrode. Stamped steel wheels usually do not bend easily, but if they are, you can usually bend them back. So that being said, I highly recommend having a professional bend them back for you, but it's definitely a possibility and it's definitely doable. Now you have fabricated steel wheels. You will not see fabricated steel wheels on any OEM vehicles out there. These are very common in the medium duty conversion realm where you're putting 19.5s heavy truck tires on your pickup truck. They're also common in the off-road world. Fabricated steel wheels are very similar to a stamped steel wheel. Really, the main difference is the strength. There's added strength in a fabricated steel wheel. They're taking an actual cold rolled or hot rolled steel plate and turning that into a wheel through different forging, stamping type of processes. So that being said, that's always a little better option if you're going to go with an aftermarket wheel. Try to look for something that's a heavier, thicker steel. That's going to be a fabricated steel wheel. It's not an official term for them, but that's a term I use. And in the tire video, I referenced Rickson Wheel. Rickson Wheel, they make a fabricated steel wheel, heavier, thicker gauge steel. Some of your off-road wheels where you see the very thick steel spokes, a little bit bigger than 1/8 inch, I usually would consider a fabricated steel wheel. They're made out of a cold forged steel versus sheet metal. So that's where you get the extra strength from. After that, we're getting into aluminum wheels. Aluminum wheels have a lot of advantages. Aluminum wheels are a more aesthetically pleasing, we'll call it. They look better wheel. Lots of different options there. You can only do so much with steel. Aluminum wheels aren't going to rust. They do corrode, so they look ugly, but aluminum, once it corrodes, it really doesn't corrode through. Whereas a steel wheel, it rusts and it rusts and it rusts, and eventually you have an air leak because there's a hole in there. Aluminum's not going to do that under any normal circumstances. You'll get some surface corrosion, and that's really going to be it. You can clean it up, polish it back out. You can weld them back up very easily and repair any damages on them. Where a steel wheel gets bent, and they use big hydraulic machines to roll it and bend it and twist it back into shape, aluminum wheels will typically crack. So if you're off-roading, you're doing something that's going to involve a lot of rocks, a lot of potential damage to a wheel, steel wheels are where you want to be because they'll get you home. Aluminum wheels, on the other hand, you can go ahead and take that same aluminum wheel out there, crack the bead. Now you can't hold air. Now you're running on a flat. You're not going to get home very easily. Looks better and all that good stuff, but there's a problem with aluminum wheels. Aluminum wheels, another thing I've noticed is a lot of them are chromed. They have a chrome plating on them. Chrome plating on aluminum wheels is a concern. Any experienced tire tech will tell you this, is when you're installing them on an older wheel. I'll give you a good example is Jeep did some of this. And chrome on steel is also a concern, but not as much. The chrome on the aluminum, where the bead seats, bead of the tire seats to the wheel, will typically chip away. And that's just because they're two dissimilar metals. They don't bond very well, and there's not much you can do about it. You can fix it. You know, you can go in there and grind off any of the loose chrome, get it down to a good solid bond in whatever areas you can, and put a little epoxy in there as a at-home fix. Sand the epoxy down so it fills in a gap, and your wheel will be usable again. I don't know if that's a DOT approved process, but I know it'll be usable. You can send it out professional. They'll weld it, repair it, remove the chrome, re-chrome it if need be, and as needed. And that costs a lot of money, but if you have an original style wheel you want to, restore back to your original shape, that's always a good option there. There's a good company in California. I actually forget the name of them. I haven't dealt with them, but I've seen them out there, and they will repair just about any wheel for a fee, and their fees are quite exorbitant. They're quite high. But again, you want to keep those wheels. It's usually worth it. Comes to aluminum, you have a couple different options. You have cast. Cast aluminum is the weakest bottom line aluminum wheel. It's you just take a bunch of melted metal and you pour it in a mold, and out comes a wheel, and then machine it down. I actually forgot one, which is the forged aluminum. I mean, not the forged aluminum, the billet aluminum wheels. We'll cover that last. Next up is the forged wheels. Forged wheels are very similar to a cast process. However, there are certain changes done to the casting process that make the wheel itself stronger. It's going to be stronger metal. So a forged wheel is always the way to go if you're buying an aftermarket wheel. It's going to be strong. It's going to be rigid. You're not going to have problems with it down the road. Top of forging, there is now drop forged. This is a lot of higher end wheel manufacturers do this. I'm pretty sure Belgian and Niche are two of them that do this, along with pretty much every OEM wheel that is made of aluminum in the modern world now is going to be drop forged. One step higher above a normal forged wheel is the drop forged. Really good process, really dense metal, and that's really what makes it stronger there between cast, forged, and a drop forge. Is a denser, stronger metal. And the denser, stronger metal is going to be more resilient to damage, hold up much better. Any coatings applied are going to stick and bond better, and they're going to work very well. So any OE wheels are going to be drop forged. So you want to keep the OE abilities of your car, the OE qualities of your car. You want a drop forged wheel. The TUV, I think it is in Germany, the German PennDOT, or German Department of Motor Vehicles, will only approve specific parts for use on vehicles. Unlike here in the U.S., you can put almost anything on your vehicle. Over there, they're very strict, and they only approve very high standard parts. Mostly because of that fancy thing called the Autobahn, where you drive really fast and no one pulls you over. However, drop forged wheels are the aluminum wheels that will be approved for use in Germany. Not all drop forged wheels are approved. However, you buy a wheel for use on a car in Germany, it's gonna be drop forged. And you know how Germans are with engineering, they overdo everything and everything's way over engineered. Well, there you go. Drop forged is the best of the aluminum forged wheels. The next option above that is a billet wheel. Billet would be your Foose wheels. I know are billet. They take a big old block of aluminum and machine it down. Um, that's kind of like billet aluminum is kind of like using a hot or cold rolled steel. It's actually compressed during the manufacturing process. So they take this aluminum and get it into a rough block shape, and they have rollers on the top and bottom that squeeze it more and more, which makes it denser. But on top of that, it also goes ahead and gets a nice even shape. Billet wheels are great. I wouldn't recommend going the extra money for them just because they're better in any way than a drop forged wheel. But they're out there. They're equivalent in strength and durability to a drop forged wheel. I would not second guess ever putting one on almost any vehicle out there. So something like a Foose wheel is going to be, made out of billet. Some other hot rod builder guy, Boyd Coddington, that was his name. His wheels were all billet aluminum too. Don't hold me up with the Foose wheels. I haven't checked their product line lately, but last time I checked, they were all billet. So now you know the different types of wheels. There are different advantages and disadvantages there. Steel's going to be stronger. It's going to be more durable and get you home. However, it rusts, and that does need to be taken into consideration. You also know about chrome. Chrome don't get you home, but chrome also could leave you on the side of the road if your tire's not able to hold air because the chrome's chipping off inside the bead. Another consideration there. When you go to buy wheels, you want to size them to the car. There are tons of guys out there, mostly in the inner city areas, we'll call them, who run an 89 89 Chevy Caprice. And they'll put 26 or 30-inch wheels on it with little rubber band tires. Rubber band tires, that's your thing. Dubs, whatever they call the 30s now, and all those other names. That's what you want, that's fine. You gotta consider though, when you size a wheel, you need to size it to the car. If you put a 29-inch wheel on a car with a 12-inch width, and that car was only designed for use with maybe an 8-inch wide wheel, max, you're now limiting your turning radius. You're now having to jack up the car and get horrible ride out of it. So size the wheel properly to the vehicle. Too big of a wheel or too small of wheels is really going to hurt you. Another thing is a bigger tire and wheel, bigger overall diameter. So bigger tire and wheel combination will go ahead and give you a higher top speed, and you have more rolling mass. It's going to take more time to get that going. It's going to take more time to get up to speed, but once you're there, it's going to be a little more fuel efficient on the top end of things. It's almost a moot point. It's minute amounts, unless you really change things. So, staying around the stock size is always recommended. But remember, wider, bigger diameter wheels are going to be heavier. They're going to take more power to get moving, or just a heavier wheel. Going from a light cast aluminum wheel to a heavy fabricated steel wheel is going to go ahead and add up in the weight department too. The Dolly project, for example, here, pulled some wheels off of a maintenance of way railroad truck, the ones that have the railroad wheels on them and they run on the tracks. They're 19.5s. I'm going to be using them in this Dolly project. The funny thing about that, though, is these wheels weigh a ton. Wheel and tire combination, I know is over 100 pounds. They take me a decent bit of effort to actually lift up in place. So that extra weight is going to show. It's going to drag on the motor. It's going to take a little longer to get up to speed than running a standard truck tire. However, I'm going to get better wear characteristics out of them, higher weight capacities out of them, and a better performance overall when this truck is said and done, because it's being built around that wheel and tire. However, there's one thing to consider, is your weight and your diameter. And the opposite is contrary. put a lighter wheel on it, we'll use the new Mustang. Shelby GT350R comes with a carbon fiber wheel. Carbon fiber. That's one of those I'm not covering here because, well, if you have carbon fiber wheels, you have more money than you need to have, and you can figure out why they're good. But really lightweight and strong as steel is what you're getting without any of the corrosion of steel. Carbon fiber wheels in the GT350R, they're really lightweight, and that lightweight wheel gives it that much extra little bit performance boost because it's able to accelerate that much faster because it doesn't have to move that extra weight and get that extra weight moving, as far as moving the car and get it spinning. Any drag racer will tell you, after you go ahead and you have your car light, you reduce your rotating mass then. You put lightweight drive shafts, lightweight axles, lightweight wheels on it, and it's going to go ahead and accelerate faster because you're losing less horsepower to moving that added weight. Also, when you go smaller over diameter is going to go ahead and lower your top speed. It's going to give you a feeling of better acceleration off the line, and it's going to go ahead and probably hurt your gas mileage a little bit because you're going to be turning higher RPMs there too. So little things to consider with the wheels there. I think we've pretty well covered the basics of it, as far as buying a wheel, shopping for a wheel, looking for used wheels, and some common issues with them. So if you have any further questions or clarification, again, leave a comment and I'll be glad to make an update or make some clarification in a comment for you. Thank you for watching. Peterson Auto, and hope to see you again.